Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Artificial Podcast. I'm Daniel Valentum, biologist, professor, master in ecology, and aspiring prompt engineer. The talk is about the 5.0 education and how artificial intelligence, far from being that seven-headed animal, is becoming a powerful ally. On the contrary, it becomes a powerful partner for those who educate and want to innovate. In fact, much of what we are going to talk about is inspired by recent materials such as the AI Guide for Educators prepared by me with the help of artificial intelligence, a very interesting material, by the way. Our mission here is to explore how AI is starting to fit into education. Let's look at concepts, practical tools, and especially what Microsoft has done in this area. So let's start to unpack this. What's the central point of this shift that AI brings to education now? I believe the key lies in generative artificial intelligence. And what is that? It's not just a machine analyzing data. These are machines that create new content, texts, ideas for a lesson, even an image. All from a command, what we call a prompt. They learn from a gigantic volume of information, the so-called ELMs or large language models. Think of them as enormous digital brains trained with lots of text and data, capable of generating coherent and useful things. It's an impressive creative capacity. And are there resources already designed for teachers, for educators? Absolutely. Microsoft, for example, has two very cool initiatives. One is Microsoft Learning for Educators, the MISL. It's an online platform with ready-made Microsoft curriculum, teaching materials, training. The idea is to prepare students with technical skills the market demands, like certifications in Azure Fundamentals, which is the basics of Microsoft Cloud, fundamental, right? It prepares for professions that may not even exist yet. The initial focus is more on higher education and high school, especially in STEM areas science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but it shows this trend of cloud competency becoming a baseline. The other initiative is the Microsoft Education AI Toolkit. This is a more strategic guide focused on school management for principals and coordinators who make the bigger decisions. It helps with planning how to implement AI in school in an organized, responsible way, covering everything from strategy to ethics and measuring results. It's well structured with parts like plan and implement, so one is more for the teacher on the front line and the other for management. But what about in practice, in the classroom, or in preparing for that class? How does this become something a teacher can use tomorrow? One example that's readily available is Microsoft Copilot. Many have already heard of it. It is an AI assistant that works integrated with the Microsoft 365 tools many people already use: Word, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook. Truly integrated. Imagine asking Copilot within Outlook to summarize that huge email exchange or to help you draft a reply. Wow, that saves time. Or in Word, you could ask, give me an initial draft of a lesson plan on photosynthesis for seventh graders. The key is a very clear prompt: state what you want, for whom, and the objective. And are schools already using this? Yes, they are. Microsoft calls these pioneers AI navigators. The public schools in Wichita in the United States, for example, reported significant efficiency gains using Copilot for administrative tasks and lesson preparation. This frees up time for the teacher to focus on the student. Fantastic, isn't it? This capability of Copilot seems like a real step forward, but then comes the question, with all this power, how do we ensure it's used the right way in school? The issue of ethics, of security, fundamental. And that's where the concept of responsible AI comes in. Microsoft's AI toolkit really emphasizes this point. It's not enough to just have the tool. You have to use it ethically, securely. Two points are crucial in school. First, impartiality. What does that mean? It is ensuring that AI doesn't end up repeating biases that already exist in the data it was trained on, treating all students fairly and equitably so as not to worsen existing inequalities. And the second point is privacy and security of student data, which is very sensitive, so you need clear policies, governance of this data. The toolkit helps schools think about this too, so clear policies and data care are essential. The main point is that implementing AI in education isn't just about plugging it in. It requires planning. It needs to involve the entire school, teachers, students, families, and learning from those who are already doing it, from these AI navigators, seeing what worked, what didn't. It makes perfect sense. The main message to take away is AI can indeed be a super partner in Education 5.0. It can optimize many things in teaching and learning, but it has to be a conscious, planned integration, always with this focus on responsible, ethical, and safe use. Perfect, that's exactly it. And to close, I'd like to leave you with a little something to think about. Consider this. How could a generative AI tool, perhaps Copilot itself, transform or facilitate a small task of yours? Planning, creating material even this week? It's food for thought.